So when you look at the brain structure is because I study science, I'm certified in interpersonal neurobiology. So I really understand how connection works from peer to peer, child to role model and so forth. And I really dive into the science on what's happening up here and when a child is having these big behaviors. So if you look at the brain's divided upstairs. It's got two parts. It's got a downstairs part of the brain, which is your brainstem, which is where your amygdala is. It's the primitive part of the brain. It's the part of the brain that goes into the fight, flight, freeze, or faint mode when somebody is under threat. But it's also the part that regulates emotions. And then you have your upstairs part of the brain that's divided into two hemispheres, your left hemisphere and your right hemisphere. Your left hemisphere is your logical part of your brain, like the accountant. Your right hemisphere is the emotional part and the creative part, like an artist. So when a child, for example, has a tantrum, that's when they know they shouldn't behave the way that they're going to behave, but they choose to do it anyway. Let's use just at home experience. I want ice cream for dinner. And parents say, no, you can't have ice cream for dinner. And the child starts having this big tantrum, but I want ice cream. And then the parent gives in. That's a tantrum. So what's happening is the emotional part's going, I really want ice cream. The logical part's going, but don't throw a fit, don't throw a fit. And the emotional part's going, but I'm going to throw a fit anyway. The logical part no longer is connected with the emotional part. So they're what's called horizontally disintegrated. That's when a tantrum happens. Now it's interesting because a lot of parents, teachers, and coaches, especially in the martial arts industry, assume that a tantrum and a meltdown are the same thing, but they're not. A meltdown is when a child is so overwhelmed with their big emotion, there's no logical part even saying you probably shouldn't do that. You just lose it. I mean, we've all been there where we've been so emotionally overwhelmed by a movie or, for me, when I watch military dads come home and they surprise their kids and I watch them show up at their kids' kindergarten class, I can't help but my tears come down. And when that happens, that's when the brain is vertically disintegrated. The amygdala, which is like the security guard, the fight, flight, freeze, or faint, kicks in and says, upstairs part you're not allowed in. So there's no logic or reasoning that can even help tame that emotion. When a meltdown happens, the brain is vertically disintegrated and you have to get reintegrated, and sometimes that just takes time. I know that there have been times when I've been emotionally overwhelmed and there's nothing you can say or do that's going to change my mind. If a child is having a meltdown because they want ice cream for dinner and you give them ice cream and they're still crying, that's more vertically disintegrated than horizontally disintegrated. I hope that kind of explains it in a way that doesn't nerd out too much in science.